Laser sights enhance and maintain your accuracy in a time of crisis, preventing tunnel vision and allowing quick target acquisition in awkward shooting positions. Crimson Trace, making laser sight standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, best-selling novelist Brad Thor cast his vote for this November. Plus, a summer safe sale, range reports, and more. Call in now at 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
Well, hi there. Fancy meeting you here. It's Gun Talk. Glad that you could make it. Hey, I'm Tom Gresham, your host, and of course we gather here every week to talk about guns, gun rights. Well, we'll talk about the hardware. We'll talk about the technical side of it. We'll talk about the political side of it. We'll talk about pretty much anything about guns and ammo and scopes and accessories and the shooting sports. I mean, we have the Olympics coming up, and just learned that shooting is the fourth largest sport in the Olympics. I think it used to be the third, but swimming and track keep adding events. So in terms of number of events, shooting is the fourth largest sport at the Olympics. Not that we're going to see a lot of coverage of it here. In other parts of the world, people are superstars. Shooters in the Olympics are superstars. People mob them on the streets. Here you could have Kim Rhodey, who has 5 Olympic medals in shooting, walk past you. You'd never know it. No one would ever recognize it. But that's just, hey, that's what it is. We will be talking, oh man, we got a lot of things to talk about today. And of course, if you'd like to join us, it's very simple. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. Just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Of course, we encourage you to download the Gun Dealio app. Just go ahead and put that on your smartphone, whether it's Android or iPhone. With that, if you should miss a show, you can always listen to Gun Talk. And, of course, you always get the good deals that are available through Gun Dealio. That's its reason for existing. Oh, yeah, did I mention it is free, of course. A lot of things going on in the news that we want to talk about. But first, I want to bring in a longtime friend of Gun Talk. It's a pleasure to welcome my friend Brad Thor on. He is, of course, the novelist extraordinaire, and also a Second Amendment activist, not a supporter, but an activist, but also just frankly, Brad, you are an outspoken proponent of liberty, which is a word that's not used that much anymore.
No, unfortunately it's not, and I'm a big believer in liberty, and thank you for such a generous introduction. Listen, Tom, you and I have been friends for many, many, many years, and as you know, I am a big supporter and proponent of the Second Amendment because I believe it's the amendment that guarantees all the others. Well,
it certainly is. I mean, we believe that. In your travels, in your interviews, because you get interviewed by everybody all over the place, do you get much pushback from much of the media when you start talking about Second Amendment and guns?
No, in fact, I really see myself as a happy warrior. I always welcome a debate about the Second Amendment because oftentimes the stuff that I'm seeing on the anti-gun side is driven by lack of knowledge. I wouldn't even be as mean to call it ignorance, although that's a fair word, but it's a lack of knowledge. Mm-hmm. And, you and I as gun owners, Tom, and your audience, we have to take a little bit of responsibility for that. Now, not everybody listening has to take responsibility for it, but a lot of us do because we are not being good enough evangelists. We are not taking people to the range, introducing them to a certified NRA instructor so that they can learn how to safely operate a firearm, and then giving them the opportunity to shoot. My favorite picture in the world, and the one thing that gives me the most hope for the Second Amendment surviving is that picture of Chuck Schumer, one of the biggest anti-gun liberals, shooting a Tech-9. And he has got a smile from ear to ear. That's the secret, Tom. It's not hard.
It really is, isn't it? I mean, have you ever taken anybody to the range and introduced them to shooting and they didn't enjoy it?
No, it's never happened. It's never happened. And so when I see the reaction of Chuck Schumer shooting a Tech-9 or people I've taken to the range, That's what we need to do. Again, we need to be evangelists for the Second Amendment. And if you're not an evangelist, you are taking it for granted. We got to pay our NRA dues. We got to support the ILA at the NRA, all that kind of stuff. But it's really a one-on-one effort. We're not raising enough gun owners in this country, so we need to convert them.
Well, I tell people, I said, look, you're either helping to pull the wagon or you're in the wagon, and we're having to pull your dead weight around. You know?
Absolutely. And I know it's hard, and not everybody's – listen, you and I are taking for granted that everybody's got time to go to the range, and that's not fair. So Let me apologize to the audience right now. I know all of us wish we had extra hours in our day.
But, even once a year is something.
It is. But if you can't get to the range, you've got your lips and you got your mouth to do some good, positive talking among your colleagues. And it doesn't even have to be, hey, Second Amendment this, Second Amendment that, but it can be, you know what, I really enjoy shooting, and I really feel it's important to protect the Second Amendment. You know, you can evangelize just verbally, too. You don't have to take somebody to the range if you don't have the time. I get it.
The National Shooting Sports Foundation did a survey some years ago. It was very interesting. They said that in the survey, half the women surveyed said that if they were asked, they would go shooting. So all that we need to do is invite them.
Oh, listen, I did. This interview is gonna get me in trouble. I did Love Connection with Chuck Woolery years ago when I was in college. It was. They scripted it, so if it ever gets dug up, it's scripted. It was. I realized reality TV wasn't that real, but they. So the stuff on stage is scripted, and they said we want you to play this kind of a guy, and blah blah blah. We'll let you. We're going to give you like $35. Go wherever you want on the date, but don't go to a movie and dinner. Everybody does that, and I said, well, I'm a big gun guy. How about if I take my date to the range? Can I do that? And they said, absolutely. And that's what I did. I took this young lady, and she had a blast. And what was so funny is she hadn't fired a weapon before, and she wanted to fire something big. And I said, well, we're going to start small. We're going to work our way up just to get your comfort level. But she ended up with a Colt Python, and she loved it.
Wow. Nice taste, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
All right. So I was just at the Centennial Gun Range in Denver. It's one of the types of gun ranges we call the country clubs. Very upscale, very nice.
Love those.
But one of the things I found that was interesting, and I sat there, I was doing an appearance and a radio show, and I was there for like 8 hours. And I would say probably 75 or 80% of the people going by were families with kids or young couples together. And I actually talked to a lady later on. I dropped into an Apple store and I told her where I'd been. And she said, oh, yeah, I love that place. She says, my sister went there for her anniversary, a shooting range.
Listen, I think freedom is sexy. And I don't think there's anything that gives you the feeling of freedom more than owning and using responsibly, obviously, a firearm. I think it's fantastic. And the country clubs are terrific because you're opening people up to a wonderful experience being on the range, and you're wrapping it with other wonderful experiences, whether it's a great pro shop. I mean, why should the golfers have all the fun, damn it?
Exactly. And the other thing is when you take somebody to the range and they shoot and they have fun, I call it vaccinating someone. No one can ever tell them now that guns are evil because their personal experience trumps that.
That is a great, great way to express it, to call it vaccinating. Every once in a while, I talk to a fellow gun enthusiast, a liberty-loving American, and I get a great term. I did a weekend-long course about the legal issues with concealed carry, and I did it with Massad Ayub.
Oh, a good friend of mine.
Oh, I love Moss. It was one of the best classes I have ever taken in my life, in my whole firearms owning and using life. Massad Ayub, fantastic class. And I believe it was in Massad's class where I overheard for the first time that this isn't my weapon, this is my emergency rescue tool. And now I use that terminology all the time, particularly with non-gun people. Hey, do you wear a seatbelt? Do you have a fire extinguisher? Well, my weapon is my emergency rescue tool. I hope never to need it, just like I hope never to need my seatbelt or my fire extinguisher or my insurance policy. But it's there in my toolbox if I need it.
Exactly. I call it a parachute. It's the thing you use when everything else has failed and you need one more option to survive.
Bingo.
Hey, Brad, hold on a second. We've got to take a quick break. Now, we're talking with Brad Thor, of course, and he is the author of a new novel. His newest is Foreign Agent, available on Amazon, etc., all the other places out there. So don't go far. We'll be right back.
Fans of Slip 2000 EWL gun lubricant will want to try EWL 30 this summer. The thicker EWL 30 sits up, migrates less, stays wetter longer, and will not dry out. Perfect for long-term storage. It also holds up better in hotter conditions while still providing the excellent high round count performance you have come to expect from the original EWL. Slip 2000. We're all about gun care. Learn more at slip2000.com.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
What's important in a gun safe? Security, reliability, safety, good looks? It all comes down to quality. Quality that's built in from the beginning. Liberty Safe has made quality products for 29 years right here in the USA. Trust your guns, your valuables, and your safety to Liberty Safe. Did you ever regret buying quality? I didn't think so. Get the best. Whatever your budget, get a Liberty Safe. LibertySafe.com.
You like free stuff, right? You like good deals, and you want more guns, ammo, and accessories. So get all of that with the free, yes, the free smartphone app, Gun Dealio. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you'll get special offers and deals when you walk into a gun store. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Who wouldn't want that? Gun Dealio at the App Store and Google Play. GunDealio.com.
Here at SilencerShop.com, we normally focus on making the world a quieter place. Not today. Rule 41F takes effect soon, making silencer ownership more complicated. The good news is SilencerShop.com can help, but don't delay. Purchase any in-stock silencer by July 6th, and Silencer Shop guarantees to get your Form 4 submitted and execute your transfer before deadline under current rules, or give you $100. The Powered by Silencer Shop guarantee. Details and restrictions at SilencerShop.com.
Okay, we're back, and we're visiting with Brad Thor, the novelist, but also a social commentator, I think you would say, and also, of course, a lover of liberty. But there's more to Brad. All right, got to ask you, and a lot of people, they know you as a novelist, and you are a world-class novelist. You're a great wordsmith. You got a brand new book out. It is obviously just hitting the stands right now, Foreign Agent, and it's getting all kind of great reviews. But you are more... And I want to let people know you're more than that. You have actually consulted with intelligence agencies. You do a lot of the big thinking, the what if this and what if that, and people come to you for kind of the 50,000-foot view of things. But you are also, shall we say, not shy nor bashful about expressing your opinions, and you certainly have done that on this election that we're facing now. This is the weirdest election season I have ever experienced. Well, probably that any of us have ever seen.
No question. And nothing gets me more animated than the Second Amendment. So, yes, my grandfather was the first person in my family born here. He worked for the telephone company in Illinois. My dad, to get out of the south side of Chicago, joined the United States Marine Corps and then went to school on the GI Bill. So we feel a tremendous responsibility in our family to give back to this amazing country that has allowed us, each generation of my family, to go further than the one before. That's the American dream. Mm-hmm. But we're lucky to have a country in which we can do that, and it's important to preserve those liberties. So I have been very outspoken. We started with at least the Republican primaries with probably the deepest and best field I have seen in my lifetime when it comes to experience and talent. I love Rick Santorum. I had campaigned for Rick in the past. Mm-hmm. This time around, I was active on the campaign of Governor Rick Perry from Texas. particularly because I liked all of the incredible things in the economy in Texas, and particularly Texas's stance on the Second Amendment, and also Texas's desire to roll back burdensome regulation, which I think frees up the individual mom and pop business to go out and be successful. I think at the end of the day, we all make the decisions we make based on what's best for our family. Well, now we're down to Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and I have to tell you, Tom, I was at the NRA convention this year, and I spoke to people that said, where Trump got his NRA position. I said, where? The NRA gave it to him. He asked what would it take to win NRA members, and NRA told him, and that's what went up on his website. He didn't digest it. This is also a man that called for an assault weapons ban at one point, quote-unquote assault weapons. So this is nobody has as many come-to-Jesus moments in their adult life as Trump has had. It just you don't move on this much stuff. In fact, I know a lot of Trump fans are saying, he's a nationalist. He wants to close America off. Well, just yesterday, I read an article, interview with Trump from 2013 at the World Economic Forum in Davos, where Trump was saying exactly the opposite of what he's saying now, that he's a globalist. 3 years ago, 1,250 days ago, he was saying, we need more of an open border policy, all this kind of stuff. We need more global cooperation between countries. So I don't trust Trump. I have a very hard time trusting anybody that at one point wanted to curtail my liberty, particularly my Second Amendment rights. So this is a difficult election. It's very, very difficult. Hillary's going to try to take your gun.
Well, I was just going to say, that's a given. That we know where we are with that, because she says she's going to stack the Supreme Court. She's going to try to undo the Second Amendment. So I guess the question, and it's the obvious one, is, okay, Mr. Perfect is not running this year, but is Trump a better choice where you say, okay, I can't vote for Hillary, then right. I'm left with this. So what do we do? What does Brad Thor do?
Well, first of all, Brad Thor lives in the wonderful freedom-loving state of Tennessee. This state is a deep red state. It's going to go red. So I'm not in a position where my vote would make a difference. But it's a good question, and one that I will honestly answer for you. If it came down to my vote making the difference between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, I'd vote for Trump. I've been another Trump guy, but I'm at the point now. Hillary's a progressive, and a progressive will erode your liberty. My concerns, though, about Trump is that he's an authoritarian, and under an authoritarian, your liberty can potentially evaporate. So it isn't that you have less liberty; it's that you have none. And it's a spin of the roulette wheel. I mean, it really, really is. Boy. I'm still holding out hope that something will happen at the convention in Cleveland.
Well, wait a minute. I heard that Brad Thor was going to run as a third party.
You know what, Tom? Let me give you a piece of advice. If you're friends with Glenn Beck and you go on Glenn's program, buckle up, baby, because you do not know what Glenn is going to spring on you. Here's what I would love. I would love to get on the debate stage and actually have an intelligent, informed debate about liberty, about freedom, about the Bill of Rights, about the Constitution. I would love to have that debate.
I would pay money. I would pay money to see that.
Oh, yeah. It'd be one of the best pay-per-views ever. I would love to do that. Listen, I think we're in a bad situation in this country when we've got Hillary and Donald Trump as our two candidates.
I do not disagree. I've been saying all along. I said, I kept saying I'm not crazy about Trump. I really don't like the guy. But when it came down to that's my choice, you go, okay, I'm going to need both a clothespin for my nose and a bottle of bourbon before I can vote on this one. But I got to do it.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I did a Fox show, Greg Gutfeld show, and they had a Democratic strategist on there. And I said, you Democrats are always so generous, you'll drive anybody to the polls. I said, will you come pick me up on Election Day? Because I'm going to be so drunk. It's the only way I'm going to be able to pull the lever.
We're going to wear out Uber on that day. That's what we're going to do.
We're going to see surge pricing. Conservatives are going to cause a spike like never before.
Oh, it's quite the mess. So where are you off to now? You're always doing fun stuff. I mean, you get to go ride in military jets and do cool stuff. Because, I should let people know, you are a great friend to America's military and our troops, and always have been.
Yeah, the other thing that came, again, my father is a no longer active United States Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. There's no such thing as being a former Marine.
Right.
But, Yeah, there is no American dream for you and me and the people we care about and our neighbors, Tom, without those brave men and women willing to fight to protect it. So without our military, we don't enjoy the freedoms that we do. That's why, particularly the Second Amendment, is so important to me, and liberty is so important to me, because you've got these men and women who are overseas and working so hard to help keep us safe and secure, help keep us free. That wouldn't it be a terrible abdication of our responsibilities as Americans if freedom slipped away while they were in some of the darkest, most dangerous places in the world trying to fight for it. And we at home, where we've got the easy job, we don't have to stand behind a machine gun. We don't have to ride around in a Humvee and worry about getting hit by an IED. How terrible a thing it would be if freedom disappeared while those good men and women were courageously putting their lives on the line for us. It would be unconscionable.
And part of that is, and I've told people, I said, look, don't tell me that it's inconvenient to vote. Don't tell me that it's inconvenient to stand up and speak, because somebody's out there, people have bled to death in a rice paddy and in a desert and on a mountain, and they're cold and they're hungry. And you're telling me it's inconvenient? I want to send you a slapogram.
That's a great way to describe it. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing we need, I'm teaching my children about the Constitution, and I mean this musical Hamilton. My kids love it. They're so into it, and they were into liberty. They understood the importance of the founding fathers and the founding documents and how the country was birthed. And something like Hamilton has been terrific because my kids listen to the music all the time, and it's a wonderful thing that reinforces freedom in our household.
Absolutely. Well, Brad, I know that you have to go, and I appreciate your time. It is always a pleasure. I wish we could get together more often.
Well, Tom, I would like to do that, and also I just want to remind listeners, they may not know this, you were one of the first gun-related interviews I ever did when I began as an author, and I believe it was our mutual friend Clark Aposhian that introduced us to each other. And I had used the term assault weapon, assault rifle, actually, and you gently corrected me on it. And that was part of my early development as a writer, someone who grew up with a certain amount of firearms, with a father who's a Marine. But you are the type of gun owner that helped shape my career. Good gun people that said, it's not a clip, it's a magazine, you call it a battle rifle, tactical rifle, and I want to thank you for what you did very early on in my career.
Absolutely. Well, I have a new term for you that will get you out of trouble everywhere, and that is, we've decided that I've created the term, it's not a clip, it's not a magazine. From now on, we will call it a clipazine.
That's funny. Clipazine.
Oh, God. Well, safe travels. You take care, my friend.
Tom, you and the Second Amendment are so damn important to me. Anytime.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All right, we are back with you. Man, oh, by the way, happy Independence Day. It was pointed out to me today on Facebook. Somebody said, yeah, if you wish me a happy 4th of July, I'll wish you a happy 25th of December. Making the point that, hey, remember what this is all about. This is Independence Day. I saw, a depressing video. One of those guys that does the on-the-street video, asks people who walk him by. He's asking them about Independence Day, 4th of July. Hardly anybody knew what it was. He said, well, our independence from... No idea. And then he started having fun with it. He says, we're Independence Day. Wanted to ask you about the founding fathers, like John Wilkes Booth and Jesse Ventura, some of our founding fathers. What are your favorite founding fathers? Well, I don't know, man. It was quite depressing. Until he came upon the last two that showed up in the video. A guy he said, well, let's see, Thomas Jefferson, John Hancock, George Washington. He starts going through, whoa. Okay, all right. And then two young ladies who start quoting the preamble to the Constitution. You're going, yep, okay, there's some hope. There you go. It is Independence Day, by the way. How do we get our independence? We fought for it. How did we fight for it? We used our guns. to understand, that is to understand the Second Amendment. How did the War of Independence begin? What did the British do to precipitate this? So there were a lot of things that came about, taxes and such. But the spark that ignited it all, the shot, if you will, heard round the world, Lexington and Concord. You've heard of Lexington and Concord. But what was it about? The British were coming to confiscate firearms and powder. Gun confiscation. The British came to confiscate the powder, the guns of the colonists. And it was at that point that a line in the sand was drawn. They said, no, we will not let this stand, because we know that if you take our guns, we have no means of resistance. You will do as you have been doing. You will put troops into our homes. You will tax us mercilessly. You will, in fact, do whatever you want to do. And we will not stand for that. And that is how our country was formed. It was, the precipitating event was an attempt by the government at gun confiscation. Interesting to think about that as we see what just happened in California, is it not? With Governor Brown signing a bunch of gun control bills, the gun ban groups dancing in the streets, and then, as I have said for the last 20 years, turning to the camera and saying, of course, this is only a good first step. Now, we have banned guns, we've confiscated guns, we've registered guns, we've taken them away from people, we've arrested people for having guns, we have all these laws, but somehow this latest one is a good step in the right direction, according to them. Of course, we now know, because they somehow feel free to say it, where they used to hide it. They always wanted it. They just hid it. What their actual goal is. Their goal is that you don't own any guns. Period. And some of them will still make noises about, oh, well, you know, hunting's okay. And target shooting's okay. But if you push them, they go, well, you know, of course, nobody really needs a gun in America today because we're much more evolved than that. We have the police. It's so funny. And we have the police so you don't have to worry people are the ones who are telling you you should call the police while you're being mugged. You should call the police while you are being raped. You should call the police while someone is shooting up your place of work. And the same people who are telling you this are having a sit-in in the House of Representatives, breaking all the rules there, while they are protected by people carrying guns. These people are protected by people with guns all their lives, all the days that they are there. And yet they're telling you, oh, no, you can't have a gun for protection. No, you don't understand. You have to call and ask somebody to bring a gun to where you're being assaulted. You have to call and say, would you guys please bring a gun over here so somebody can stop this guy from raping me? Oh, yeah, oh, geez, he just cut my throat. Oh, rats. I got to go now. Yeah, I got to go like forever. Let's go to line 2. Mark's with us out of Anchorage, Alaska. Hello, Mark. Thanks for calling Gun Talk.
Hi, I have this idea that I thought that you might be interested in promoting with your great skills in public relations. And I call it 2 to the second, and it starts with a story. I knew a gunsmith that was in the Army back in the old days when they still paid their soldiers in cash.
Okay.
Once or twice a month. And he was at a base where the Chamber of Commerce was agitating to get the base closed. So the base commander had his paymaster pay all his soldiers in $1 coins and $2 bills. And he did this a week or so before they had the Chamber of Commerce meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to the meeting and said, do you really want us to close? So my thought is have gun owners go out and when they go to businesses, pay with $2 bills.
All right, Mark, you left out the most important part of this, is after he paid all of the personnel with the $1 coins and the $2 bills, that money went throughout the entire economy, local economy, and all the stores, all the merchants, all the businesses were seeing this show up. And then he went and said, now, this is our economic impact. That was the payoff on the thing, right?
Yes, and that's why you might want to promote it, because you're have a great way of doing this.
I get what you're saying, and I understand the reasoning behind it. And look, I thank you for the call. If we were dealing with people who were rational, that might actually work. That actually might make some sense. The problem is this: they don't care. They want to destroy you. They want to destroy me. They don't want to destroy guns or gun control. They want to destroy gun owners. They want you to change who you are and what you are. And the economic aspects of it do not matter to them a whit. I have, as a result of a conversation, well, I guess, as we say, a precipitating event, I've changed my view on a couple of things. I've changed my view on voting for the right person, regardless of party. It's foolish, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I've also changed my view on what our goals should be, what our not tactical moves are, like $2 bills, but our strategic goals are for the gun rights movement. And I'll have those for you when we come back. What are we doing that's wrong? What are we doing that's effective? And what should we be doing? 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk.
Bigfoot gun belts, made with legendary leather and quality craftsmanship, are built to support the full weight of even the heaviest handgun. With a spring steel core embedded between 2 layers of rich English bridle leather, you'll never deal with a sagging belt ever again. Each gun belt is handmade with the blood, sweat, and beards of dedicated, skilled Pacific Northwest belt makers. Capture your gun belt for as low as $54.88 at BigfootGunBelts.com.
The Ruger LCRX is a variation of the LCR that features an external hammer, allowing it to be fired in single-action mode. The LCRX can also be fired in double-action mode. It features a monolithic frame made from aerospace-grade 7000 series aluminum, a patented Ruger friction-reducing cam that results in a smooth, non-stacking trigger pull, and a patent-pending polymer fire control housing that significantly reduces weight and helps reduce recoil. The Ruger LCRX Revolver, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Laser sights offer an immediate advantage when visibility is poor and seconds count. Laser sights can de-escalate a deadly encounter by engaging the target with a laser, enhancing your ability to protect your family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
Yes. Governor Jerry Brown just signed into law in California a number of horrible gun laws, which probably will be challenged in court. But I'm talking really bad stuff. After the state said, these are legal, you can own them, specifically rifles that have the bullet button release, magazine release. Now they say, nope, sorry, can't own them. What to do? Can't own them. There are a number of other things, also some measures that'll be on the ballot this November. We'll be talking about all of that as we go along. I mentioned before the break, I've made 2 changes in my thinking. And for those of you who called me on this a few years ago, I can only say you were right on this one. Because I always say, well, regardless of party, pick the person who's, a good person who will support you. I realize the foolishness of that, and yes, I am slow to that, and I apologize to you for that. If you vote for a Democrat, you're a damn fool. Oh, can I say that any more clearly? Here's why. And I know there are some really good people who are Democrats. I get it. I understand it. But here's the deal. A vote for a really good Democrat still helps Nancy Pelosi. It still helps Charlie Rangel. It still helps Chuck Schumer. It still helps the leadership of the Democratic Party. And the way that this works in Congress is whichever party is in the majority of the House or the Senate, that party's leaders specifically, they get control. What does control mean? Control means they get to decide who is the chair or chairman or chairwoman, whichever you prefer, of the various committees. There is immense power there because the chair is the person who decides which bills get discussed, which bills get to come up, which bills get to make it through committee. The leadership of the party in control determines what gets brought up for a vote. The leadership of the party in control simply tells the other side, sit down, be quiet. Except that here's the deal. The Democrats for 40 years controlled Congress, up until 1994. And they ruled with an iron fist. And they simply told the Republicans, be good little children, sit in the corner, and don't make too much noise. And we'll do whatever we want to do. Following 1994's election, in which, by the way, the change of Congress was really precipitated by gun control, by Bill Clinton's gun ban move, and so many Democrats lost their seats in Congress as a result, according to Bill Clinton. After that, the Republicans were in charge, but they didn't know what to do with it because they'd been out for so long, for 4 decades, they had no idea. So they didn't know how to play hardball. So they thought, well, we'll be fair. Stupid. Can't do that because there's nothing fair going on up there. So back to this year, back to the ballot box. I don't care if it's a city councilman, state legislator, attorney general, secretary of state. I don't care who it is. A vote for anybody with a D next to the name helps the gun ban party. It just does. Now, you will note I'm not saying that the Republicans are wonderful. No, I don't trust them a whole lot more, but I do trust them just slightly more. Hey, what's that old deal about the bear? I don't have to run faster than the bear. Just have to run faster than you. Yeah. All they have to do is be a little bit better. Now, very quickly, we must change our strategic thinking on gun control laws in America. Not tactics, not $2 bills, not the rest of it. We've been fighting defense for so long, we don't even recognize it. We have no offense to speak of. If you're playing defense and you're 90% good, it means you're going to lose 10% of the time. We have to go on offense. What does that mean? We have to destroy gun control. We have to crush gun control laws. We have to crush those who put forth gun control measures. We have to take back this area. We have to have an all-out, full-bore assault with millions and even billions of dollars to destroy gun control from in every corner of the United States. Are you with me? Back with you. Let's go straight to Steve, line 2. He's in Terry, Mississippi. Hey, Steve, what do you think?
Well, I was calling about your previous caller's comments on the coins and $2 bills.
Right.
I'm an old Lloyd Baum Caravan Club member, and so is my father. So I've been around for a long time with them. And one of the things we used to do at big rally sites or the international rally was there was a designated trailer that was the bank or the treasurer. Everybody went and exchanged all their money to $2 bills.
Okay, and I get it. The point is to impress everybody on the economic impact that you have in the area, right?
The impact nationwide it wouldn't work because you just flood it with $2 bills. They don't know where it's from. My only other thought, in defense of that, if you're making small donations to your local politician, in an envelope, count them out, have a receipt there that they can sign for tax purposes, put it in $2 bills.
Okay. Well, look, I appreciate the thought. I got another idea. If we're willing to go to the bank and get $2 bills, I got a better idea. Let's get off our butts and go to the offices of our elected legislators, congressfolk, senators. Let's go to their offices. Let's stand there 100 at a time, and then 100 tomorrow, and then 100 the next day. And our message is very simple. We are stalkers. We're going to stalk you everywhere you go. Every time you make an appearance in a campaign, we're going to be there with signs for your opponent. Or we're going to be there with signs for you. No more Mr. Nice Guy. We will destroy you. Politically, we are going to destroy you. We're going to destroy your political career. We are the shock troops. We are the stormtroopers. We will be there with signs. We're going to show up. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more fairness. Because that whole fairness thing is kind of a word that's used mostly by Democrats and children. And the Democrats use it so that they can suck you in to thinking that compromise is what you should be doing. For them, compromise means you only lose some of your rights and not all of them. And they don't take away all your rights at once. They're going to have to be a little bit more patient before they take away your rights. Compromise never, ever, ever to them means, oh, we're going to get back some of our gun rights. We're going to destroy some gun control this year because we can't quite get to destroying all gun control yet. People say, what do you mean destroy gun control? Name me a gun control law you would support. Well, background checks, baloney, don't do any good. Never have. Well, certain kind of guns, baloney, never do any good. Studies have shown they don't do any good. They don't reduce crime anywhere. Well, age limits, nope. Before 1968, 12-year-olds could buy guns through the mail and have them mailed to their home. No issues, no problems. So that one's out the window. None. No gun control laws. None. Now, we may not get to that, but if that is the stated goal and that is the modus operandi and that's what we do, and we become the stormtroopers, we become the stalkers, we become the people who say, you over there, you work for us. No, you don't work for those lobbyists. You only work for the lobbyists as long as we allow you to be there. And here's the deal. You keep that up and you're not going to be there anymore. We will be there. So, no, I don't want to go to the bank and get $2 bills. I want to go stand in their offices. I want to stand in their local offices. I want to go everywhere that they're at a flower group or a group where they're making a speech or a stand-up where there's TV cameras. And if we're not willing to do that, you know what? Fold the tents. Make a plan for getting rid of all your guns, because if you're not willing to do that, you are going to lose. 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back.